This is for the ELA YouTube video that was shared, and the subject line was phonemic awareness. And the teacher was teaching a young, small group of children in a small group setting. All right, good morning. So I wanted to talk to you about me sitting in your class virtually and listening to the lesson and reviewing what it is that I saw and how things was conducted in your class and how you conducted your lesson. First, I wanted to say that I really enjoyed hearing you praise your students for the punctuality in which helps them, build the positive and encouraging classroom atmosphere that you want to create for your students to encourage them to want to keep coming to your classroom. So telling them, great job and good to see you, and just having that open and welcoming spirit definitely helped your students a lot to want to be more intrigued and integrated into your classroom. When looking, for the different interactions and engagement in the classroom, the thumbs up, thumbs down method, I felt like with the rhyming words and with identifying the ending sounds of it encouraged the students to be more active and to participate and be engaging in the activity. Thumbs up, thumbs down usually gets it and hits the mark every time, where you allow students to freely express without feeling embarrassed how they are receiving the lesson and how you are teaching the lesson in a way that they can learn and not be ashamed to say that they're not really grasping it. So that was a great strategy that you used to be interactive with those students, and I truly enjoyed it. You also provided a clear and precise learning target in the middle of the lesson. I liked how you started an opener with the thumbs up, thumb down activity, and then you also went into the learning target of what they was going to learn today. And this was a way to help students understand that, this is what we're going to learn, and this is what you should know by the end of this class. So going through that, even talking about the benchmarks and just showing the students what it is that you're expecting of them and having an expectation, that it was a great implementation to have for those students and for them to be able to look for that every time. You provided multiple, model approaches with the 3-part drill involving saying, writing, and reading sounds, engaging them. And the students, once again, in a different learning style, even with, with the new sound activity that you provided at the lesson, the student was engaging, and the essential piece of and it is considered an essential piece of phonemic awareness. Let me slow down a little bit. And it helps with the phonemic awareness development. And I wanted to say that was a great implementation, and using those 3 parts to break it down for those students definitely is it's a great way to implement learning for students of that age range from what I saw on the video. Now when we get to talking about how we can move the needle, how we can help these students grow, some of the areas I would suggest that, for growth is providing differentiation in the lesson. And it's important to ensure, that the activities are appropriately and challenging for all students. And this will help the students get their needs met, those students that may not be on the same level as the other students in your class. But what you can do is break those lessons down and allow students to feel comfortable in their learning area, and you in your own way, you're meeting those students right where they are and where they are in their learning. And you gave little feedback, of course, about great job. Good way to answer this question. You called out a student name so that she can feel individualized. But what I do feel like that if you would just give a little bit more constructive feedback in those lessons as well in between time, but in a nice, appropriate way, so they don't feel discouraged, but they can look for any kind of mistakes or anything that they did do wrong in the midst of your activities and your learning time, so that the kids can grow within themselves and know and look for those things and what they're supposed to do. Sorry, sinuses is crazy, but also, I just feel like the activities, that you provided, it will help with those constructive feedback for those students to help them grow and look for those things to help in practice even at home. And lastly, I think those activities, help the students improve more effectively with those feedbacks. And I would like for you to implement an assessment at the end of each activity. And it can be like an exit ticket. That way it will show you what students actually grasp what you've taught and what students really need the extra push or the extra help to meet the needs of where they still probably have not understood what the learning target is expecting of them. So the exit ticket at the end of the lesson would definitely help. And I just feel like you are an effective teacher and you're doing a great job by making sure that these students are getting their, getting the learning, the appropriate learning that is expected of this school, and moving. I feel like that you are in a great place of moving the students forward, and at least by 1 year's growth within this school year. So, with that suggested feedback that I've given you for this observation, if you put those things in place, I guarantee you that within a year's time, you will see a growth in your class, as well as any assessment or map data that we may have to implement to see where they are in their curriculum. Thank you so much, and I will see you again and continue being great in your classroom and your teaching style.